What is going on? You are listening to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. I'm your host, Stevie, and this is episode 435 alongside Jeremy Ross Lopez. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good over here on this last day. Is it the last day? No, I think we have 2 more days of January before February.
Yeah.
Joining us, of course, as well is Kodi, Maurice, Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get into so much to talk about on this episode 435. But we have to check in with Jeremy. I was scrolling around your Instagram, and you went to, was it Vermont's gay ski weekend?
Yeah, so it was in Stowe, Vermont, and it was super fun. So people come from all over. There were a bunch of New Yorkers there, people from Boston, people from Canada, and it was cool.
So did you ski at all or snowboard?
I didn't. No, I just drank the entire time.
Sounds like my kind of weekend.
Yeah.
They all the hot tubs have like outdoor heated pools and hot tubs in the snow. So it was very cool and relaxing, and they had a gay pool party, and it was fun.
Nice. Did they have events at night, like dance parties?
Yeah, they did. They have this place that is called Alfie's Wild Ride, and it was like a big, huge, like warehouse type of thing, and it has like chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, and they had a closeout party there.
Fun.
Yeah.
Hotties, a lot of hotties in the mix.
Yeah, there were a bunch of cuties.
Oh, nice. I've only done one gay ski weekend once in Whistler, which was a lot of fun. And you get into the whole mindset of the ski lodge kind of thing. And I did try snowboarding. I wasn't that great, but I want to try it again. But I would definitely want to try this again sometime, maybe next year.
I want to go.
Yeah, we should all do a tags version of the trip, perhaps.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get into hot topics and Circus of Books. I thought Circus of Books, which is a video store / porn shop, toys, and it's in West Hollywood. Well, I thought they went under or closed. They did actually. There's a really good documentary you guys can search for, Circus of Books. It's like legendary, but it was reopened a couple years ago during the pandemic when people were looking for toys. And one recent thing that just happened at that, a guy came in and decided to walk off with, get this, a 30-inch tall dildo.
Oh Lord! Goodness.
Which had a value price.
I wasn't expecting that.
He literally was on a display case and at the front of the shop. He walked through the store, turned around, walked back, and grabbed it 30 inches. So he kind of like held it like a baby over his shoulder.
I bet he did.
And walked out the door, in which case the woman that was working behind the register immediately saw it and went running after him and grabbed him like behind the hoodie. And she actually got him to come back in, and he put it back down. She put it back down for him. And so,
wow.
But a dildo worth $700. I mean, a lot of people where I got the story from were saying, could anybody really? Well, this came from TMZ, and they had the video footage of it. But I can't imagine, they said, I can't imagine anyone really using this because it's just for show. I can think of people that would actually use this, believe it or not, a 30-inch dildo. I mean, it's not that surprising, I guess, for certain people's taste. Well, we know, Jeremy, right, from the Eagle.
Oh, yeah, and the Leatherman. I mean, all of those ones that they have on the bottom floor with the, like, the fist and the arm and all the different sizes.
Exactly. But $700, that's a whopping price for a dildo. My goodness. Yeah. It's too expensive.
That's quite the investment.
Right. Well, thank God Circus of Books got it back. Check out that documentary. Some good news. The FDA, in an announcement, said that they are eliminating the time-based deferrals from essentially now they're going to relax donor restrictions on gay, bisexual men. So they're going to take out anything that has to do with gender per se. they're proposing changing its blood donation guidelines for men who have sex with men and women who have sex with men to focus not on gender or sexual orientation, but on sexual behaviors. So if we all remember in the past, it all had to do whether you were gay or bisexual. Now, at least, they're going to look at the actual behavior of the sex act. And essentially, they are going to look at things like, have you engaged in certain type of sex acts like anal intercourse in the last few months? If you haven't, then you would be allowed to donate blood. Whether it's for someone involved, people always need blood for car accidents. There's always a shortage of blood. So I think this is really going to take the stigma away of the old gender types that they used to put on there. This is a good thing, I think, right, guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's a good first step, but I think that there's still a ways to go as far as I think they should just test all of the blood personally. But I mean, it's a good first step.
Yeah, there must be something to that because I've thought of that too. Like, why don't they just test the blood? I mean, I know people that are on PrEP, like myself, or PEP, would be deferred for 3 months as well from their most recent dose, and that's when I initially went in to donate blood when I got COVID the first time around in 2020. They told me no, and it had to do with the fact that I'm on Truvada on my questionnaire. That's still going to be a 3-month, window. But it's funny with that one, just because they're not asking what you could be on it, but what's your sexual behavior? At the time that I was on it, I wasn't having any sex. I had just taken it periodically here and there, or I was taking it daily, but I hadn't had sex because we were all in lockdown.
Yeah.
So, and they still refused me. So, yeah. Anyways, I think this is a step in the right direction.
Oh, definitely.
But obviously, let's keep moving with that. Okay, well, there is a man that has gone viral on TikTok, and apparently he was unable to grow facial hair. And so he went over to Turkey, which I hear have great transplants, and he got a beard transplant.
Wow.
People, it looks interesting in the picture. I'll put it in our little Zencaster message for you guys to look at. Essentially, he went over there. Pierce said he ended up spending around $3,500, including hotels. His initial video documenting the transplant has hit over 3.6 million views on TikTok and prompted over 6,000 comments. And he's very happy. He thinks that he was always meant to have a beard. He feels it works with his face. He said, "Now I'm sexy," I think he says in one of his...
It definitely does work for his face.
It does work for... I'll post this on TAGSPodcast.com.
I didn't know that they could do that.
Me either.
Well, in one of the videos, they can definitely do it, but the process is very painful. He's 37, and he said that in one of the videos, he can barely speak, and he's in so much pain with it. That all went down, and Pierce said it's already hard to see the scars from where hair follicles were taken from back of the head. The clinic provided him with a year's supply of shampoo, oils, and vitamins, and recommends he use hair loss lotion to minimize any of the transplanted follicles. So interesting. I mean, you know what? If he's happy, I'm glad he got a good price. That would make me a little bit nervous. I like him, could never grow facial hair like that. You two I'm talking to are the beard guys.
Yeah.
I have never wished. I mean, yes, I think it's definitely a trend. Some of the people in the comment section were saying it's so funny because the smooth look used to be so popular. Now it's all about the beard. I mean,
I think the trends always come and go, and I feel like you can't rely. You have to like be yourself and just find whatever fits for you. But I feel like everything goes in and out. Some people like there's a moment where lean and mean is like the most in, and then everybody wants a thick boy. And I mean, so I feel like it changes all the time.
It changes all the time. I think ultimately you have to be happy. I mean, Kodi, have you ever wanted anything changed about you that you maybe weren't unhappy with? that you can
Oh,
relate to this?
constantly. Oh my goodness. All the time. So I am thinning out personally, and I have actually considered going to Turkey and getting hair transplants. So I think that this is
Oh.
great. And whatever he wants to do to make himself happy, I think he looks great with the facial hair from what I can see, because it looks like he's still healing from these pictures that I'm looking at right here. But I say do what you need to do in order to make yourself happy, and make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. It's as long as you're doing it for yourself and not necessarily, like Jeremy said, to please other people and what's going on out in society right now, then I think you'll end up with a nice product and feeling good about yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting conversation because I think whenever you tell somebody you're going to do something, the key is you really should just think about it and don't tell too many people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking at one point for my birthday, I'm like, maybe just I'll get a little Botox around my eye area and not my forehead, but just the squint area. What do you call those? The lines, I guess.
Crow's
Yeah.
And
feet.
crow's feet, and then around the middle of
Oh,
that.
yeah, I get that too.
Yeah, but not my forehead because I don't have any lines there. Thank you very much, Mom. But I was thinking to do it. Well, the minute you tell friends about that, I was like, don't do that. Oh my gosh, you're gonna look crazy. A friend of mine in LA
Girl.
thought I was gonna, and I thought it's gonna be very minimal. I mean, people
Yeah.
probably won't even notice if I. It's not like I said full on cheek implants. I mean, Jeremy, what are your thoughts on when people want to do either cosmetic things to improve themselves or feel better?
I think it's excellent and I support it. And I feel like you you only have one life to live, and if you want to change something and it ends up ultimately making you feel better, then you definitely should. And I support any sort of uh, filler, cosmetics, plastic surgery, update your hair, fill in your hair, fill in your beard. Like,
Color your
I
hair.
yeah, I think any of it is good. I mean, I think people can get extremely carried away with it,
Hmm.
but it's good to do what makes you happy, and I think that that's most important.
Yeah, we've all seen people go a little bit overboard with it. And I think that's just the fine line. And go to somebody with a reputable source that you know of. I hear
Mhm.
great things about Turkey. I do have a friend that went over there for a hair transplant as well, but for his head, and had great results, Kodi. So
Okay. All right.
guess we're going to Turkey in addition
We're
to our
booking
gay
a
ski
flight.
weekend.
I know, right? We could do a world trip. I love
Yeah.
it.
Let's go to Turkey first so that when you go to the gay ski weekend, you've got plenty of full
I got
afro.
it's all down my back. I want it all down my back. 22 inches, boo. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of travel, there's a great article. I'll post this on TAGSPodcast.com from Instinct magazine. How is the LGBTQ traveler different than our straight voyagers? And they did a study actually finding out some of the key fundamental differences. About one of the takeaways from the study is that representation in destination marketing materials is very extremely important to the community. About 43% of us in the study stated it would make us feel more confident that the destination is inclusive of the community. We need to know, so that's something for hotels, websites need to make note of and make it front and center. Don't tuck it away where we overlook it. So they're talking about like just the brochures kind of
Hmm.
thing and things that are online. Inclusion, of course, is obviously a very big thing. We talk about that on places like the United Arab of Emirates in the past. Half of LGBTQ plus travelers said that the safety of a destination is a concern when deciding where to go. 52% of respondents said state politics related to their community and identity greatly impacted their decision to travel. And 39% of respondents said that any negative perceptions locals and other tourists may have of the LGBTQ plus community make them uncomfortable and impact the destination they choose. And finally, additionally, 33% said these perceptions impact how they present themselves while traveling in a
Mm.
destination. So there's more to this study that I'll post on tagspodcast.com, but it does lead me to the next question that a Reddit poster put online, and he asked the question, where do you recommend going on a vacation alone? I'm recently single and looking to treat myself to a few days in late February. Could you reply with suggestions? A little about me, based in New York. I only speak uh, fluent English. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy both warm and cold weather activities. Skiing, okay, we'll talk about that in a second. I love food and wine and plan on taking myself out to dinner alone. I'd like to see a decent grid of hot guys when I open up Grindr. So, Jeremy, I guess you're the obvious person to ask immediately who just got back from a trip. Would this be a good place for a solo guy to go your gay ski weekend?
Yeah, I think it's a good place to meet people, and I mean they have a lot of like cocktail hours and stuff that is perfect for if you go alone or if you go in groups. It it was very like inclusive, and the pool party specifically, and then the introduction like cocktail hour at the host hotel
It's so funny you
helps
said
you.
pool party at a gay ski
I
weekend.
know, right?
Well, you have to see it to get it, because a lot of the hotels either have huge indoor pools,
Uh-huh.
which are always heated and are open year round, or they have outdoor pools that have like, it's really cool to see, because when they're heated, there's like a lot of um I don't know how to, it's like condensation and mist
Oh,
around it,
right.
like
Okay.
a hot tub has, but over a gigantic pool, because it's outside in freezing weather that's snowing,
Oh.
but it's still heated so you can swim around in it. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You're such an East Coaster. I love
Yeah, I
it.
totally am. I love the seasons,
Yes, you do. And I
and
know
I
it
love
sounds
the snow.
I know you do. I mean, it's interesting though because I feel like a lot of people at those events go with groups of people. But if you said they had cocktail hours and parties, and what better way to align yourself with some friends that you'd meet, and then if you're tired of then move on to another set of friends and keep it moving like that. I think if I was to suggest, I always love Puerto Vallarta to this
Mhm.
person because I know you love it too, Kodi.
Yeah.
It's a great place to go out when you want to be in the gay scene. The gay beach is a lot of fun. Of course, there's gay B&Bs, there's Airbnb, there is great food and restaurants, there's activities. It has something for everybody. And there's a lot of places that you can go. If anyone wants tips on where to go, I've got them. I can always put them online at TAGSPodcast. Some of my favorite restaurants where you could sit at the bar and not feel like, ooh, I'm dining by myself, but talk to the bartenders, gaze at who's coming in. Kodi, what are your thoughts on what would you recommend on travel if you're solo?
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Anywhere you can go where you can be as comfortable in your skin as possible and have on as little clothes as possible, I say that's where you should go. So Puerto Vallarta is my top pick. The only other place that I've been by myself is to Paris. I went to Paris by myself and I
Oh,
had an amazing time. I met
wow.
so many wonderful people. I speak some French, so I was able to get by. And
Give
it
us a
was,
little something, something.
oh, je parle un petit peu de français, alors.
Okay, all right. We don't know any better, so we're going to take that.
Voulez-vous
Sounds
des
great.
beurre? That means, would you like butter?
Always.
Paris, I love that you brought up Paris. I mean, it really is. I think you need to be a little bit more daring because this person doesn't want, they only speak English. But you're
Yeah,
right. I don't speak much French at all. Nothing really. I say
really.
bonjour every time you walk
Yeah,
into a boutique. Bonjour, bonjour, that kind of thing. And you just keep saying that, and people are very accommodating for the most
exactly.
part. And there's
hmm
great nightlife there
Oh
too.
my God, it's so amazing. And I feel like that's where I met most of the people that I connected with in the nightlife and just going out and being in those spaces with those people. Oh, also Montreal, I think is a wonderful place. And I've been dying to go back there alone. So I'm gonna put that out there as well.
Oh, I'd be curious to know what Joe thinks of that. idea. But
he's going. We're going together.
Oh, I thought
don't
you
know.
said alone.
Oh, no. He's going to come with me. I've been
Okay.
dying to go back, but I want to go back there.
I love
for sure.
Montreal. That's a
So
great
great.
spot. I've gone to London by myself before and had a great time. Knew some friends there, so I got to. Some of them showed me around one place, the gay nightlife in another area. Had a great time. I'm going on an upcoming gay cruise coming up February 12th on
Ooh.
Vakaya. That's going to the Caribbean, and they actually did something creative. Where here's where you know you're safe on a cruise like this, but they did something fun ahead of the cruise. They did a singles meetup on Zoom where people could kind of get to know each other a little. I did not do it. I figure I'll meet you on the boat. I'm not trying to get my looks together because there's a costume party every night, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And so I just think, no, I'll just meet people. But they're going to have singles events on the cruise, and you can always meet up with people in the dining hall and wear a bathing suit, like you said, Kodi. All the fun stuff that everyone likes to do. So plenty of things and places to visit. All right. Well, we have to move on. And I did finally see the first 2 episodes, drum roll, of The Real Friends of Weho.
Oh, no.
Don't
I thought you
hate
were going
me,
to say
people.
something else.
First of all, Jeremy, did you watch the first 2 episodes? Because we talked about it on this show.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I know you got some commentary. I'll give you my little take on it. I thought there were certain people I was going to dislike immediately. Brad Goreski, he was not as irritating as I thought. And it was really fun seeing him do fashion because he's a major fashion stylist. So pulling the fashion was fun. Like I said, not as obnoxious as I thought he was going to be. Todrick Hall wasn't as annoying as I thought. And the one thing I'll say, well, first I want to hear your take on it, Jeremy, and then I have some more things to say, and we'll move into a related topic.
So I thought it was interesting. It's definitely catty, which I expected. And my favorite part was when they fought and said something about you left your jacket, and he said it's probably from Zara. And Dorian says, it's Saint Laurent, bitch.
That sounds like something I would say too.
Oh,
the Saint Laurent bitch, right?
It's so the gays, and I just loved it, and I thought it was hilarious. And I actually think that Dorian is like kind of so fabulous and
really?
I think he's a little too full of himself, but I think he's fabulous at the same time. And I agree with you about Brad. I thought he was super annoying before I watched this, and he's actually like the funny one that makes things a little bit more lighthearted. And I cannot stand
Miss Todrick.
Todrick's fine. I can't stand the TikTok guy.
Right, the one that's a social media influencer.
Yes.
Oh, her. Yeah,
I can't stand her at all.
Me either.
I can't stand the voice. I can't stand all of it.
She needs to take it down several notches. I mean, he's being himself, which is great, but a lot of drama, and I think that's where we're going to see a lot of the drama. You haven't watched it yet, Kodi, correct?
I watched the first episode. I didn't get a chance to see the second episode, yes. But my opinion on it is that I think that there are elements of it that I really, really enjoy. So, like Curtis's storyline, as far as him coming out and having to be closeted in Hollywood, is so relatable. And I think a lot of African American people are going to really gravitate towards that storyline if they give the show a chance.
That's what I was going to say, Kodi. This whole thing about the coming out and people of color, particularly black. So keep going. But yeah, that's what we were going to segue into. So lead it off.
So I do think that Todrick Hall is, I think that this is like his way of getting back in the good social graces of people. So I think that that's something that I kind of can see in the underlying, in just kind of being his narrative. He's like on his apology tour, basically. So that's kind of annoying to me. You're right. He's not as annoying as I thought he was going to be.
And he's coming with receipts, by the way.
Yes. So
he went on this show with receipts to give us his take on the controversy.
Yeah.
The
But
thing
I liked it overall.
Yeah, I watched both episodes. I liked both. I'll continue watching. I think there's only 6, so it's not that big of an investment. I'll see where it goes. I like how they set it up, and they asked all of the cast about how do you feel about taking on this experiment, if you will. And I don't think they took themselves too seriously, the producers of it, taking that angle of it, which is kind of cool. The coming out stories showing the different sides of people of color. Like you said, what's the guy's name, Kodi? Curtis, who's really cute. And
He's gorgeous.
at first it's kind of hard to, when you're out and you've been out for so long, sometimes hearing someone's coming out story just like they're showing it on the TV show can be a little, like, at first I was taken aback by it, like, really, like, you're really worried about this? But as they showed, everybody's coming out story is different, particularly if you come from a Black family. I think that they're really shedding a light on something that the Black community faces, and I think that's going to be its winning feature in the end, I think, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and this year I'm actually looking forward to it. Remember the guy I met on the naked beach and who I just went on a date with? Well, things seem to be heating up between us, and I'm really looking forward to spending the holiday with him, and more importantly, carrying it into the night, all night. For our community, Valentine's Day can be a really sexy holiday for lovers, new loves, or finding a hot hookup, which begs the question, are you ready? Roman ready for sex? I know we all love sex here at Tags, but I would bet we're also looking for intimacy, because intimacy and connection is really what leads to happiness. Roman covers a variety of sexual health issues for men. Roman can help you achieve a stronger and harder erection through prescribed medication. Want to last longer in bed? Roman has individual discreet wipes that will have you lasting longer in bed, and I'm talking 4 times longer. And here at Tags, we discuss the importance of knowing your testosterone levels, right? Roman can help with that very issue through testing and treatment. The best part is, Roman is all online, making it super convenient. Everything from Roman will be sent to your home in discreet packaging. What could be easier than that? To get Roman ready for better sex this Valentine's Day, go to ro.co/tags today to get 20% off your entire first order. Do it by February 8th for guaranteed shipment in time. That's ro.co/tags. Hey guys, your buddy Stevie here, and I think I can speak for most of us that we all would like a better sex life, no? Well, here's a fact for you. More than 50% of guys suffer from symptoms that get in the way of their sex lives, both wanting and enjoying. So, I want to know from you. You want better sex? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. Yes, please. Well, you're not alone. So, my fellows, Roman is here to help. Roman is an online clinic for your health, addressing a variety of issues specific to you, like increasing your libido. And I know for some of you with partners that aren't as horny as you, this could be good. Whatever your sexual needs are, Roman has answers, and better yet, medication that can help you achieve and keep a strong erection. You want to last longer in bed? Who doesn't? Roman has individual wipes that are discreet, and they can help you last up to 4 times longer in bed. Have low testosterone? Do you even know your T levels? I just got mine checked out recently. You may have heard me on the show, and I'm so happy I did it. Testosterone is responsible for so much, which keeps us functioning at our top levels. Testosterone also affects your libido. So, at Roman, you can get your T levels checked along with lab processing, and if it's right for you, get treatment to address the issue. Roman offers convenience. Convenience of doing everything from the comfort of your home. You know what? Avoiding all those hassles and lines in offices. If medication or testing is appropriate, Roman will send it directly to you, and the best part is they send it in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. You can't beat that. To learn more about how you can achieve your personal sexual health goals, go to ro.co/tags today to get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/tags. Talk About Gay Sex, Tags Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey there, so it's a new year and it's super important for me to feel and operate at my best. I love producing our shows, I love working out, hanging with friends and loved ones, and experiencing new things. It's important for me to feel and operate at my best, both mentally and physically, but to be honest, sometimes life gets in the way. Things bring you down and you're not operating at your peak. You're feeling overwhelmed or anxious. Maybe you're not sleeping well. Therapy can be such a great tool to implement into your life to address a variety of issues you may be experiencing. A good therapist is like a really good coach who's on your side. I can tell you from personal experience, therapy helped me with a relationship. We just weren't communicating very well and we were arguing a lot. Jealousy was a big factor for me, and trust. Therapy helped me communicate what I was feeling. It allowed my partner to hear me clearly, and therapy gave me the tools so that I could move forward in a healthy way because I was feeling agitated and stuck. BetterHelp is a great option for you to consider if you're thinking about trying therapy. It's completely online and you can do it in the comfort of your home. Even better, to help you find the right therapist, you simply fill out an online form to determine the right type of therapist, and rest assured you can always switch therapists with no issues. BetterHelp is also very affordable because in my mind, therapy should be available to anyone that wants to try it out. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can help you get there. Visit betterhelp.com/tags today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/tags, TAGS. Well, we all know coming out isn't easy, and to stay sort of on the same wavelength in the music industry, Jonathan Knight of New Kids on the Block, NY, can you say anybody? NYK?
KOTB?
Yeah, thank you. I don't know my letters. Was recently in an interview and said that during the time that he was in the group, and we're talking about the 90s, early 90s, that he was actually told to not come out, to hide his sexuality, and that did a whole number on him. He also suffered, I think, from stage fright as well, but maybe it was related to his being told absolutely not. And then to relate it to a newer story, Sam Smith, who really is killing it these days. I mean, I'm loving his persona in the music videos. I
Oh, yeah.
wasn't really noticing him so much before, but in a recent interview, he said even today, so we're talking about Jonathan Knight from the 90s. Now, Sam Smith in 2023 said his coming out process was not always the greatest in terms of his fans, because many of his fans, like he walked around London before and people spit at him and for
What?
being gay. And so it might seem all like we're in a day and age where, oh yeah, the kids today can come out really and no problem. It's not really the name of the game always. And so lastly, in music news, Spotify is actually going to do a whole queer music station
Oh,
on their
wow.
Spotify where it's called Glow, and it's global. The music program Glow in support of queer artists. The new program will feature playlists, artist spotlights, partnership opportunities, and more to help support LGBTQ artists and issues around the world. I don't have Spotify, but I would actually listen to this because I do think, as Todrick said in the real on the reality show,
Mhm.
that a lot of gay men only listen to like females, and there's all these LGBTQ artists out there. I mean, I think this is a good thing. What are your thoughts on this or the last things we were talking about, Jeremy?
I think it's great and it's very exciting, and it's like a fresh take for the music industry in general. And it's exciting to see all the creativity that there is to offer.
Right. I 100% agree. And Kodi, as somebody that is a singer, what are your thoughts on this new station or coming out, how you're going to be received?
It makes me want to download Spotify. I can't wait to listen to Glow. I think that's amazing. It really, really saddens me though that Sam Smith has had such a hard time coming out, and it really just shocks me because he seems to be living his best life. But I guess that's a rational reaction to all of the hate that he's getting because I love it. It just makes him want to live out loud, and I really really appreciate that about him. I love his new album and that new video.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, it's so good.
I'll have a listen of the new album for sure.
Yeah.
And he also said he thought about changing his sexuality at one point,
Oh really?
but he's not doing that right now. But definitely non-binary is where when he heard that term, that stuck with him, and he's happy that he's definitely giving credit to where we're at today in 2023 with sexuality. And so, yeah, kudos to Sam Smith and everybody else. Okay. Well, Redditors rallied around a guy whose date pulled one of the most dickish moves ever. One Reddit user met Mr. Wrong online, and the way he got stood up has other Redditors up in arms. As the guy explained on gay subreddit, he arranged to meet his date at a boba shop. Am I saying that right, boba? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But his date walked right by him with a nary a word and just like knew it was him. A screenshot of their text conversation tells the rest of the story. In that thread, the guy confirms he's the one wearing the gray hoodie in the boba shop, and the guy responded, "Ugh, ew, no thanks," and and adds cat and fish emojis. When does cat and reflect go? Cherry, I know you're laughing.
What the hell is that?
That is so rude. I mean, you can't sit down for a boba. I mean, what is a boba anyway? I mean, first of all, I would not be going to have a boba, but
Bitch, I think you would actually like boba. It's kind of like matcha, but it has those jelly balls in it.
I don't know. It sounds a little. I don't know. I won't say what it sounds like, but go ahead.
I'll bring you one when I see you next.
Oh, thanks. And then we'll go to BBQ afterwards for lunch, and it'll be lovely and amazing.
Oh my God, Steve would not get caught there.
Oh my God, he hates it.
But it did remind me of a story that you did tell once, Jeremy, on this podcast, but it's worth telling again. I think you know what I'm talking about. Do you remember where you were on a date?
No, I don't.
Let me refresh your memory.
Okay.
You were on a date and the date wasn't going to your satisfaction, and you excuse yourself.
Yes, I went to
tell the rest of the story.
I mean, I went to the bathroom and I literally left because I could not stand the guy. I knew that he could afford the bill, so I was like, fuck him, and I'm leaving. And I had enough drinks that I was ballsy, and it was horrible. Like, the conversation was horrible. It was all one-sided, and I just could not deal. And I was like, nope, only in New York can you just hop on the train and get the fuck out of there.
And never see them again, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually, but you at least sat down for the date and realized he was a dick and an idiot.
Oh yeah, we were like totally at least like 40 minutes in. I didn't just leave after 10 minutes.
Did you pay your bill, or of course I want the details.
No, I didn't pay the bill.
I love it. You left him at the table to pay the bill.
It was a rich guy though, and he definitely could afford it.
Got it. Well, at least you did sit down, and so it's not as bad. I mean, the other night I was at the Eagle here in New York City, and I ran into a guy that now I see him out, and we did go on a date in the past, and I remember he would nonstop talking. And the other night when I saw him at the Eagle, he said, "Why didn't we ever go on another date?" I said, "You know what? I think we're better as friends." And we were having fun at the Eagle, cruising guys together. And I said, "We should go to the Naked Beach this summer. You seem like a lot of fun. You seem very free." And he said, "Yeah." But then he inquired about what happened to that date? Why didn't we ever go? And I said, to be really honest, you talked a lot. And not in a way. And I told him, and he says, oh, I have that tendency to overtalk. And I said, right. And you didn't really ask me anything about me. And on top of that, I had just got back, I believe, from Africa, of all trips. This wasn't like I
Oh
just
my
went on
God.
like my current trip, a cruise, where I'd be like, yeah, it was like fun partying with the boys. No, it was like life-changing trip.
Yeah.
And he knew I went on this trip, and he still proceeded to not ask me not one question about Africa and my experience on it. He just kept yakking away about what he does working for this furniture store, and on and on and on. And I was like,
It also, like, it's just maddening when you sit there with someone and they like can't hear themselves, and it's all just like, why wouldn't you just sit at home and tell yourself how great you are than wasting someone else's time?
Oh man.
Kodi, weigh in.
They definitely deserve to be left. The ones that cannot be bothered to ask about you. So I 100% co-sign you, Jeremy. This is actually what happened to the Redditor has actually happened to me. I made plans to go on a date with a guy. I went to the place that we said we agreed to meet at the time that we agreed to meet. And I sat in the cafe waiting for him. And he was a catfish and he never intended to meet up with me, or he saw me and in like live in the flesh and thought, oh, I'm not interested. So, and then left, because I waited there for a good 2 hours, something like that. And he never came. So
Oh,
I know,
Kodi.
right?
Did you write a song about it?
I'm about to right now because it's so sad. I'm sad just thinking about it. Let me go kiss my boyfriend in the other room.
Your story turned out with a happy ending, so
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't work out with that guy and his major loss.
Exactly.
But yeah, people don't stand up. People, I'm actually, I know you told the story before, Jeremy, and the way you now listening a little bit more, I think the first time you told it, I was appalled. Like, oh my God, now I actually get it a little bit more. You did waste 40 minutes of your time. I think it's always safe to do either, and that's the thing about this story. You could sit
I
down.
definitely, like, it doesn't matter how awful I think that you are, or there's
it
no
does
physical,
matter, but
no, but I'm saying there's no physical attraction. I will still sit down and like entertain. So like the whole story with the boba tea, like that could literally be
boba.
That could be 20 minutes and you could be over it. So I think out of respect, you can sit down and like just conversate with someone like a human being, and you could be nice and just listen. And I don't know, a boba tea goes in seconds, so
Right.
it doesn't take a long time.
I'll personally take a cappuccino on my next date. But good news on the dating angle for me, I'm going on a third date tomorrow.
Ooh.
And in keeping with the energy going, the guy texted me yesterday, actually on Sunday, and said, how was your weekend? Handsome. And I said, hey, sexy, good. I told him briefly what I did, and then I said, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. And he said, me too, sexy. So I'm really looking forward to that and seeing him. We're keeping it going. We're keeping the ball.
Yes.
It's just like this game, but it's fun, and so I'm enjoying it. So we'll see where it goes. I'll keep everyone posted. Staying on the same angle, though, another Redditor wrote, why don't people want to meet in person anymore? I don't get it. Things are going fine in a chat. He sounds like he's interested. I'm certainly interested. When I suggest meeting in person, they stop responding, vanish, block me. I am suggesting a public place, like boba, anywhere they are comfortable. I could understand one or two people, but everybody? And a lot of people had a lot of things to say. He was only stringing you along in case he couldn't find someone better. You were good enough, but not great. Then someone better popped up on his screen. Some people also said things like he can't host, maybe.
Mhm.
I interpret this as I'm in the closet and don't want to cheat on my wife, girlfriend. It's nearly always a woman, too. Let's be honest. Oh, I didn't know that. And a lot of other people said things like it's all about the game, the pursuit. And then when you find somebody interested in you, they've already got what they were looking for, which sounds like a horrible game to play. Jeremy, have you noticed this where people never want to meet? My sister calls it, I don't want a pen pal, let's meet.
No, I don't know. Oh, yes, I do know what you're saying. Like, you're saying you don't want to like text so long and then not have any actual plan to
Right.
physically meet or keep pushing it out too far. Yeah, I find that super annoying.
Do people, when you're talking to people on Grindr or Scruff,
They do it all the time.
do one of you, are you ever the one that suggests we should meet up? How long do you keep the conversation going?
I'll go like a few weeks, but
Mm-hmm.
if there's
Weeks,
no
okay.
if no, but if there's not like any interest in like interesting conversation, not a few weeks on the apps, I mean off of the apps getting their phone number. But if it's like 1 or 2 weeks goes by and then I've already asked to meet up and then another week goes by and we haven't, then it just falls off for me.
Yeah, I think I just always say it on the show. I don't do well on the apps. I meet people in person. I'm definitely one more, and that's what I think he was initially saying, meet in person or on the apps. Kodi, you did so well. We say
Mm-hmm.
it all the time. You celebrating 2 years with Joe after meeting
Yeah.
on Grindr during the pandemic. What's your thoughts on this last conundrum?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. People, when I was on the apps, people would generally not want to meet up. I would just move on from them. I don't even know if I would wait a week just going texting back and forth. Generally, if they don't want to meet within the first couple days, I would move on because that would raise a red flag to me. Just either they were there to collect pictures because that happens so much,
Ugh.
or they just want to, string people along and I'm the next best thing. I'm just a distraction. So I don't take it to heart. Just kind of take it as something that happens out there in the world and move on.
I agree. You have to ultimately move on. But I say get out there. Things are opening up. Meet people. Like the last person, go on a trip where you can actually meet people and ask them in person if they want to have a boba. Okay. And lastly, in keeping on the wavelength of dating, somebody else wrote, and I love that this is the dating show here. What does it mean when a guy you're interested in mentions this to you after a first date? So the guy says, I got to say, I'm not in a hurry to rush into anything, but I enjoy your conversation and your sense of humor. With a follow up 10 minutes later, the not being in a hurry has been another hard sell for me, apparently. I've had a couple guys get interested and then impatient because they wanted to take time to get to know them. I hope you might be patient enough to build a friendship with me. I'd like to meet again for sure. I hope I don't come across as standoffish. I just need time to process between visits. Wasting my time or give it a shot? That's an interesting one because when I went on speed dating, there was a guy that I matched up with. So in one of the 5 minute dates, one of the guys also put me on his list, but as friends. I put him
Mhm.
as friends, although I did think he was cute. I said friend or dating. He put friend on mine. So we did match up. We went to dinner. We had a good time. And in the course of the dinner, he explained to me that actually he is learning from his lessons, his words,
Mhm.
and not getting involved with someone too quickly. So essentially, everybody that he checked on speed dating was always going to be in the friend department. And
Mm.
he's just going to take that road because his past has shown that when he jumps too far into it too quickly, it never works out. I agree with that, but I have to say, because I was interested in dating with this guy,
Mhm.
once he put friendship thing, I kind of went in there with that mode
Yeah.
that I'm going on a friend date. This will be great. I did it with another guy that we both just want to be friends, and we are great friends now. I think you can go too far with the whole friend thing. I get it. No one's rushing anybody, or you should not have to be rushed. But I also think if you say the friend thing and hope that maybe later down the road, the other person might not be on the same track. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Jeremy?
I agree. I think that in a lot of cases they aren't on the same page.
Right. I mean, do you like to be friends with somebody initially, or how long do you take it where you
I
know.
think it's more organic when you are able to be friends and start that way, but it doesn't always go that way just because if you like sleep together early on and I don't know, but i- if you try and keep it in the friend zone and get to know the person, I think in the long-term scheme of things, it works out a lot better.
Yeah, I think, so many of us are quick to, like I've said on the show before, whenever I meet somebody at a bar or a club and we sleep together that night, 9 times out of 10, we never make it to that date that we
Mhm.
were talking about. And so it just was what it was. I think
Mm.
because it was a fun hookup, even if our intentions were there at the time of exit. So but I think you can also put the friendship thing too far, and then
Mhm.
someone's like friend zoned you. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts, Kodi?
No, I definitely agree with both of you, but I think that it's different for every single person out there. Me personally, I think that once we're friends, we are in the friend zone. We're in the friends lane. I'm riding that out till until the wheels fall off, basically.
Which can
Personally,
often last longer than the actual relationships.
oh my goodness, don't even get me started.
Okay.
But yeah, when I was on the apps, I like to actually be friends that were kissing. So that was my angle
Mm,
on things. That way you can kind of get to know somebody and still get that little tinge of romance and affection that you get from a mate. So I think that's the way that I operate personally.
Actually, I'm on that kissing mode with my guy right now, and I was starting to feel a little bit, oh no, is he into me? But then he texted me last night, and our dates have been very romantic, and he even held my hand and kissing kind of things. So I like that kind of, if it's going to take time, kissing friends.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
you got to show a little bit of interest, I think, is the whole point. Whether it's we're not going to sleep together and we're just going to go on weekly or every other week kind of dates, but keep each other in mind. You've got to show some interest, and you can do that. I just without friend zoning somebody. I think when you friend zone somebody, you do put them in that lane, like you said, Kodi. So okay. And lastly, this is an easy one for me to answer. Somebody wrote, "How can I last longer?" I'm eight. I'm versatile. Just started hooking up with people 18, and I always come in a minute. Ooh,
Oh.
it's really frustrating me, and I want to be able to last longer and enjoy sex more. My penis is very sensitive, and I get hard very easily, and I can retain an erection for a long time as well. Okay, now you're bragging. Tips on lasting longer. Well, I'm just going to say, because we have a great sponsor, which everybody should check out, not just for what I'm going to recommend, Roman Swipes. And this is exactly what this guy needs. You just wipe a little bit. They come in individual packs. You wipe it on the tip of your penis, where the most sensitive part is, and you'll be able to last up to 4 times longer. They're called Roman Swipes, but they have a lot of other things like testosterone, checking your testosterone levels, and so forth. Go to our website, click on the link. You'll get a 20% discount. You won't be upset. And lastly, everybody seems to be talking about a show I think you're watching, Kodi, called The
Hmm.
Last of Us.
Oh yes, I'm going to
And
go watch the next episode now.
episode 3, I haven't watched it, but everyone's talking about it. Fans lauded the story of one of my favorite actors, Murray Bartlett, and Nick Offerman's romance on the HBO show, which is based on the queer inclusive video game, which I did not know. And sounds really good. I guess, are you watching this, Jeremy, at all yet?
No, I'm not.
I'm not either, but Kodi, what can you tell us about The Last of Us?
It's really good. It's actually very scary for a television show. I have not seen the most recent episode, but when I saw that it was Nick Offerman that was in the LGBTQ plus relationship, it really surprised me. So I can't wait to see how he handles this. Everybody is saying that it's lovely, so I expect the best from it. And sexy daddy Pedro Pascal is the lead, and he's in this episode for I think 10 minutes, and everybody is still saying how amazing it is. So
Well, but
I
we got
have
Murray
high hopes.
Bartlett, and I love
I know.
Murray,
I'm so
so come
happy.
on now.
I mean,
Yeah.
both of them are amazing. So
The
I
only
expect big things.
recommendation I have right now to watch is a nominated film, and I watched it before it was nominated, people, called Tar, Tar, with Kate Blanchett. She plays a lesbian conductor, and it is so good. I watched it twice. That's all I'm gonna
Oh,
say.
I love her.
She's great.
It's a really good character study about power, her power, and it just kind of spirals people. And Kate Blanchett can do that. It's so good. I'm like, I want to buy it. I want to watch it a third time. It's my favorite movie. I'm just obsessed. Any recommendations, Jeremy?
What have I watched lately? I watched Ginny and Georgia. That was cute. On Netflix.
Okay.
And then I just watched You. I think it's called You People.
Oh.
And it's a very racially charged new movie that came out on Netflix also.
Ooh.
It stars Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill,
Oh, I want to see that.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
What?
Nia Long.
Oh my
It's
god.
really good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
That's on the list for me.
definitely.
It was excellent. It just came out a few days ago.
Hold on, wait a minute. What
Yeah,
about
it's called
J-Lo's
You
movie?
People. I haven't watched that yet.
It looks really good.
It does.
It does look cute. Yeah.
I mean, like a Saturday night fun flick to watch with their friends, but I love the cast.
And Lenny Kravitz in it, so you
Okay.
can't go wrong.
And Jennifer Coolidge, people. It's Jennifer Coolidge, the other Jennifer. Can't wait. All right. Well, always fun catching up with you guys. You can always follow my co-hosts. You can follow Jeremy on Instagram at jrosslopez. Follow Kodi. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching, or his personal account at Mr. Maurice. Follow me at Iam_Steve V, or follow us at TAGSPodcast, where you can always DM us for sex or relationship advice. We love giving unsolicited or solicited advice to you. Keep us in mind. We will be live with Tags Live this coming Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to tagspodcast.com to get the link or any other links, including our sponsors, which support Tags Podcast. We're about to celebrate 6 years, so stay tuned. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex.